We are in it to win it! All right. What's up, everybody?
All right. Welcome to Kill the Market. I'm Uncle Toro. With me, as always, Bear Force One. If you're new here, this is where we break down the markets. No fluff, no BS, no sugarcoating. Real news, real charts, real stuff. That's all we're bringing.
That's right.
Blow smoke. Today, we got a big session for you here. We're going to start off with some trade recaps from last week. Bear Force One is going to give us an update on oil, as he is the master, has been calling it perfectly. He's teasing an upcoming project he's working on.
Oh.
And we're going to look at some charts, what we're looking at for next week. And then we're going to discuss when we're bullish, when we're bearish. And it'll be pretty interesting. I'm excited about it. So how was your week last week? How'd you do?
Yeah, it was a trading week. It was it started off bad and ended normal. So I took some trades. I only took a couple trades last week. We had a busy time at the company and did some. Tried to continue my my semi plays, and I've been, as some of y'all might know, I've been riding semis, trading it for the last 2 weeks, hitting every trade I've made, pretty much long and short. Went into this week again, got a little overconfident, and gave back some of those gains that I made the week before. But we made it back towards the end of the week, and right now we're riding good. We're positioned for a great opening tomorrow, and hopefully run into Tuesday, where we're going to expect some massive profits that are coming back for that. But how about you, man?
It was a busy week. Kids back to school, sports starting up again. So I only took a couple trades, but it was good. I did short SpaceX after I gave people crap
I remember that.
about being short, and then I longed MU.
What?
May have said it was going to go down. That's irrelevant.
I didn't know you did that, bro.
So yeah, we had a couple good ones, but again, you got to ease in. Busy. One thing I really want to talk about is just volume has been so low. It's so, and when volume's low, the trend is going to continue. We can kind of talk about that later in our segment, but just one thing to watch, man. When volume turns, I think we'll really find out what's going to happen.
Yeah. We're in a dicey spot, man. I've been saying it for years. Eventually, I'm going to be right. Eventually, I will be right. And
eventually, the Bears will win.
Yeah.
One day.
Let it burn, baby.
Now, I'm looking at the oil chart.
Let me bring this up for you real quick.
It's pretty ugly.
Here we go. Sorry.
It's congested in here. It's up, it's down. It doesn't know, tweet this, tweet that. We're going everywhere, but we're kind of consolidating. And I'm finding this range here on CL between 86, 90 to this 78ish, just kind of stuck in there, man. It can't get out.
Mm-hmm.
But I know you have a big update for us. You're seeing something. What do you got?
So on my side, one, I just want to reiterate, if you got a gut feeling about a trade and it's backed up by your knowledge, don't miss out, because you got to hold to your convictions. You might remember this, Uncle Toro, about a week or two ago, I started positioning back into oil at around 115. But once I saw some price action and some of the articles that were coming out, I got a little bit of a cold foot on that, and I exited right below break even, thinking it was going to drop down to the 110 zone, where I was going to re-enter. What I should have done was what I had originally told you, was I'm going to start averaging into this position. This is normally how I trade oil in any big swing positions that I go. I will average in over a day or two on the price fluctuations, and that's how I get to full size. I did not do that. And of course, naturally, as you can see, oil is now back up on USO, back to 126. You can see it right over here over my right shoulder. And then we have some interesting developments that are coming up over the weekend, and that's kind of what I want to get into. So I'm gonna try to not go too ranting on this. So I'm gonna keep. I wrote some notes to keep it a little condensed, but
Can I
as
do something real quick?
yeah,
Let me
yeah,
break down this chart,
go
and I'm
for it.
interested to see how that aligns with what you're thinking.
Let's go.
Cool, because it's kind of we're mixing both our worlds here, right?
Perfect.
So what I see is you called that 115, you longed it, very nice move. We had that nice gap up, and now we have this 125 level I'm watching where it just can't break.
Yeah, and
You
we've
know,
been here
we did
before.
the even yes, this Thursday close was even 125.03. And I can't stress how important these closes are. You know, when they can't break a level or, whatever it may be, the close, wherever that close is, speaks volumes. So we're hanging above this 125. So to me, that's bullish, right? So that's what I'm seeing. And let's hear what you got.
We're on the same page, man. I have been looking for an opportunity to short this back down because it is highly over. Or okay, I'm not gonna say overvalued, but the valuation is much higher than its traditional average. So I've been looking for an opportunity to ride that down. That's part of my strategy. Typically speaking, that's how I got into oil, but on the reverse side. Anyway, that being said, looking at the charts now, because it's so high, we have a old ceiling. I think it's like around 150. I think we got to 145 a week or two ago. So we're kind of like bottlenecking in that zone. And in order to break that higher, that's where I would want to see in order for us to start going long, as far as that would be my target. All that being said, the main thing that's on the oil side for me right now is the geopolitical aspect of it. So, as everyone here knows, you got the Strait of Hormuz closed down, blockaded by both sides. They're sinking ships, well, and all this other such, drone attacks, missiles. However, recently in the last week or so, I can't remember the exact day. I've been a little hiatus from it. Got a little overwhelmed with it. I the Orange Man had said that he's going to start doing that Iran had reached out. They want to work up a deal. They're desperate for a deal. They're gonna make everything okay. Everything's gonna go back to normal, and they're gonna surrender. Right? Obviously, if you're paying any little bit of attention, you'd know that this is probably not going to happen. However, the things that are probably not going to happen don't mean that they're not going to happen. So we don't trade all the time on these what ifs. I mean, on the maybes. We want a little more confirmation in our corner, and I wasn't seeing it. I did get in at 115. I I, I abandoned my own trade, and I regret doing that now. But with the current area we are at here, I'm also interested in getting in here, even though it's a little bit on the high side. And here's why. So, Strait of Hormuz is closed. We just went over all that. There is another strait that's being more talked about now, but not as widely known as the Bab el Mandeb. This is an alternate route for oil that's on the other side of Syria. This is where the Houthis and Yemen and all that, they're doing all their fighting. If that is currently open, but it is down to about 4.5 million barrels a day. The problem with this is a lot of that traffic from the Strait of Hormuz has transferred over here. And if this continues, this battle is ramping up, and the Houthis are backed by Iran. So this is a fact. 6.2 million barrels a day go through this thing. If they end up closing this, if the Houthis try to blockade this with the backing of Iran, we're going to have a serious problem, because that's going to add another 4 to 8 million barrel a day deficit. And the reason why that's a big deal for oil, more so than obviously like less oil is bad, is because we have already ramped up our production and alternate oil sources since the start of this war. That's why fuel isn't $100 a gallon, because alternate routes have happened. So the way that we can see that all screwing up, we went from 20 million barrels a day at the start of the war. Now the deficit is around 4.3 million barrels a day. If the Bab el Mandeb alternate route gets closed, that strait, it's going to jump that back up to around 12 or more, which is going to essentially restart the oil supply side crisis. Okay, so we don't want to see that happening. Unfortunately, that is what it appears is going to happen. I don't know exactly if that's. I'm not as confident of that as when the Strait of Hormuz closed down. There are currently no U.S. forces that are stationed around this. This entire thing is It's kind of on a teetering point. I think everyone knows at this point how crucial the oil situation is. But let me run over a couple things here just on the war news that are going down that oil side. Is that all right with you?
Do it.
All right. So a lot of you guys might know that the USS George Washington Strike Group is going to be relieving. I'm sorry, the USS Abraham is going to be relieving the USS George Washington. There's been a whole bunch of media frenzy about the living conditions and their overextended deployment that's going over there. So there's war fatigue already going on within our own people, and they're alternating out strike groups, which just shows you more the further commitment that the U.S. has to blockading this oil, and that they're not walking away from this war anytime soon. Don't listen to what the media is telling you about mostly anything. Watch the numbers and watch the movement of ships and militaristic or military logistics. That's where all the information lies. It's the writing is in between the lines, so to speak. The other thing that's going on with the oil thing, like even if they just close down that strait, there is still the Suez Canal, but all the East Asian and the Western countries that have to go around the Cape of Africa now in order to keep that supply happening. If that happens, that alone is going to crank up diesel and all the other costs. So that will see another increase, which will also increase USO. The other thing that's happening that this is not really as talked about is the Saudi refinery strikes. They are hitting each other's infrastructure on that side of the strait, to a point to where it's going to cripple the production. The pipelines that are being max pumped out right now to compensate for the loss of Hormuz, all this stuff is going to could potentially get shot up and blown up. And this is going to spiral this back into another crisis, which is why I think if we continue on this trajectory for the next week or two, we are most likely going to see USOs pop up as high as 175. Brent crude right now is at 88.52. We spiked up to about 100, came back down. I have no doubts that if the second straight closes, this is going to pop up into 120 a barrel or somewhere around there. And we're going to start seeing some real heavy shit that goes on from this. There is more at play here than just rising oil prices. This is infecting Japan. I'm not going to go down the yen thing again, but this whole thing, man, is a ticking time bomb. It is terrifying. I suggest you look a little more into it. I am releasing a video on it later. Back to you, Mr. Toro.
Well, let me ask you this. So
Yeah.
all this information, right? We have
Yeah.
all of this stuff that we're trying to figure out, make sense of it. How do we take that and then turn that into making a trade? Because my
Yeah.
thing is everything you read sounds so bad. The world's ending, where whatever it is. The media just wants to scare everybody.
Sure.
How do we avoid the FOMO of trying to play this to the downside when it's still going up, or vice versa?
Well, that's where the chart comes in, a lot of it. So, despite what you hear on the news side and all this other stuff, one, like I said earlier, you have to kind of read between what's happening. There's a lot of noise, like you were saying earlier when we were texting about um, what was it? I don't have my phone in front of me, but you had mentioned something about like I sent you the photo of the Iran putting out the hit on American troops or whatever for 30K a pop or whatever it was. And you were saying, well, how is this still affecting the news? Well, some things do and some things don't. And I think it takes a little bit of like instinctual navigation to be able to go, hey, this is going to make a bigger impact than not. The Strait of Hormuz is overhyped. So another bad news in Hormuz, I'm a rapper there. It's not necessarily going to make an impact, but if this other strait gets closed, that's why I'm bringing it up. This is where we know where to play the upside or the downside, at least in regards to oil.
Okay, and I think it's important because this is, like I said, we're both in different worlds as far as how we trade. I'm a technicals guy. You are a fundamental guy who also mixes in the technicals, though. So, because I don't want to be the guys that are scaring people and they're just trying to go long USO, right?
Right. Yeah, don't do that.
You have to have your thesis and then execute per your plan, right? Have an idea, like you were long 115.
Right.
Sure enough, it bottomed out right there and you wrote it up. So there's more to it than the news, but the news helps you get an idea of what you're looking for in a sense.
Yeah. To simplify it, yes, that is. It just comes with a bit of time. There's also trial and error there, But I would say technical analysis is just, if not more important for me than the news. I like to see the convergence and the alignment of all this stuff. While you might look at a chart and not give a crap what the news or the sentiment is out in the world, and that's how you make the majority of your trades, which are also, they're extremely successful. So there's multiple ways to skin a cat, so to speak. Hope that doesn't get
All
us.
right, so now I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
What's the play?
Wait. We're gonna wait.
What are we waiting for? For the news or for the chart?
So for the news on this one, because this all right now in this is all elevated because of geopolitics. So we're gonna wait, or I am gonna wait. Great, not financial advice. Make your own trades, all that yada yada. You guys are grown adults. I am gonna wait. I might, if we get a massive retracement and the news side has not changed, if the numbers have not changed outside of the market, I might start averaging in again. That's what I want to see to be able to start building that position. If we just spike up and start running, I'm not chasing it. I've missed it. That's just the way it goes. If we see some retracement here, we see a little pullback, but at the other side, the pressure is building. That I look at that and I go, the chart and the actual news are telling two different things. And since this chart is mostly moving based upon all this news, I'm going to go ahead and invest essentially in the demise of the oil supply worldwide, because that's what this is. We're betting against, that things are going to get better. And that's, in the Middle East, I don't know if you guys noticed, but in the last forever, it never gets better. All right. It never gets better. There are lulls and down and areas of chill. We are escalating this further. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Expect complete mayhem!
Well, the problem is everyone makes too much money with the mayhem.
Right? I know. It's
so I find this super interesting, more interesting than I thought. This is all pretty cool. If you find this interesting, like, subscribe. We got plenty more. You've seen both sides of the trades. And I just think it's super important. There's not one way to do this. There's multiple ways to find trades and how to play the market.
That's right. Amen.
Cool. Now, you've been working on something for a while. I keep hearing about it. I haven't seen it. Hours and days put into this. What do you got?
All right. Well, I'm not I'm not gonna get too much into it. Right? I'm not gonna bust my load here too early. But that doesn't screw up the video ad. But all right, all right. As we all know, we got an AI situation going on. Everyone uses AI. I used AI to write this to help.
I love AI.
I love AI. I'm a big fan. Yep, to the moon. To the moon. I have no issues with AI. I have an issue with the numbers and all the sentiment, just like with oil, that's leading up to what I believe. And this, I don't know. What do I really know? But my gut is telling me that there might be something big coming up that's going to give us a big opportunity for sort of great investment entries, and then also for great trades and volatility. That's essentially what I'm looking for. To summarize the video, it's about how the AI bubble, because it is, no one's going to deny that, we are in a bubble, how that is related to the past three major U.S. bubbles, 2008, 2000, what?
I just looked up and I saw you and you.
I pulled a quick one on you, man. The 2000, 2008, and then the other one that's really relevant, 1973. All these things combined, you got oil, you got inflated assets that are built on debt. You have a whole, oh my God, it's so good. I don't have time to go down that rabbit hole right now, but just know when I pop this video, guys, you'll watch it, you're going to be a millionaire overnight. Theoretically speaking, if you're
gonna feel like a millionaire.
You're going to feel like a millionaire. Yeah. It's not financial advice. Be smart. Be a smart person. Don't listen to this dumb. Look at this guy. Look at me. Don't listen to me, but hear what I have to say. All right.
He's been right quite a bit.
A little bit. Just a little bit. All right. So
cool. So that's coming in a week or so. We'll be patiently waiting.
Yep. Hopefully out of the
Hopefully
weekend.
you put it out before the market crashes.
Well, who knows how long that's gonna be? Who got? Oh, man, I've been saying it, and it just. Oh my god! I'm thinking that video that I posted where it was just all-time high after it just kept going up all day, and I was losing my mind, bro. Y'all go back and watch that one. That was the most stressful trade I've never doing. That was so bad. Anyway, all right. So take it back away. What you got?
All right, cool. So charts coming up for this week.
Let's
I
get
got
some
five
charts.
charts I'm looking at. Number one, AMD. You can see semis have been hot. We're testing this downtrend line again here. It's been kind of back and forth in this channel. We're all about channels. This could pop. We could get this breakout, and this could really just be the beginning of the move here.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to be watching for. 514.67. You know, that's going to blast to 525, 540. You know, then this uptrend line here worries me a little bit. So depending on where we hit, I'm expecting somewhere around 540 this week. We'll keep an eye on that. Amazon. Now, we've both been on this. We've both been on short Amazon. I've explained it in probably 5 videos now. For me, it was this previous all-time high. Again, we talked about candle closes. We had this one day gapped up, ran. That was off earnings, I believe. And then every day after we gapped down, and it has not been able to close over that level. So we were watching this, and we've been short. We've been calling it. We've been on it. Like, subscribe. You know, it's just simple price action. That's all it is. I don't know if you had some fundamentals behind your idea.
None on this.
We just both love the chart.
Yep. Yeah. I just
you couldn't.
Yep.
You couldn't beat it.
Nah, this was great. God bless, it was great. I mean, my only regret with Amazon, man, was I didn't follow through my convictions for Monday. You remember over the weekend, bro? I was like, I pinned that thing in the channel. I said, Amazon is the play this week, and then I deleted it later, and when I ended up going on semis, and then you know what? It pissed me off. I still believe Amazon's the play. I still think this is the play, and
Dude, look at this gap,
dude. I'm telling you, bro.
That's insane.
Oh no, fucker! I got this. God. Sorry, man.
All right.
I'm so
Everyone
passionate.
just jumped in. Everyone just jumped in. We're good. We're riding this all the way down. And then, you know, like what I'm seeing here, you're looking, I mean, there's not much between here and 255. And then, you know, 255 goes to 250 and so on. So something to watch for sure.
Yeah. We're looking for a big break there, guys.
Yep. Hood. So this one, I bring this up because I know a lot of people follow this. It kind of been trading in this channel, had the false breakout, very similar to Amazon setup, right? We had this chop up here at the high, and then it came back down, retested, tried to re-enter on Thursday, not able to. Friday sold off. I think this continues to sell off. Let me update this weekly pivot. So I mean, there's just a lot of movement here. It had some excitement off the earnings. This is a weekly chart here. You can see this even better, right? Inside week went up, failed, came back down. So I'm definitely going to be looking for this one to continue to the downside. It'll get through 95. Then we'll test that weekly pivot, 92.40, potentially 90. Wouldn't surprise to see 90 this week. SoFi. Look at this one. Now, this is just kind of, I'm just putting it out there. We're early, right? I'm not looking to jump in this yet. But this channel here, this 1975 from 15 to 1975, we need to get out of here. It's going to get out of here. I think they're still accumulating. Earnings was great. You know, they just can't buy enough shares is what I'm seeing on the chart here. Once this starts to get volume, this is gone. This is gone. It's not going down. It's going to go up, and it's going to go quick when it happens. So just have that on your watch list. Keep an eye. We'll be posting about it. Really like this. Especially, man, if we could get somewhere, if they could give us a quick little sell-off here, if we could swing this long,
might be
beautiful.
Might be this week. Who knows?
Space. I just heard about SpaceX. Number one, he's coming out with a phone. Did you hear about the phone?
No.
Yeah,
no, I didn't.
Satellite phone. I don't know how it works when you go inside somewhere, but that's besides the point. And then he's launching satellites specifically just for AI. They run nothing else, just
Yeah,
AI.
are they doing data centers in space? Is that what that's?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
basically what it is. Yeah.
yeah, that's
It's
good idea.
crazy.
Good idea, I think. I mean, I don't know.
Now, the reason that I want to talk about this is, and this will lead into our next segment. So, as a kind of spoiler, everybody on social media was bearish SpaceX. All these shares are going to unlock. Everyone's going to sell their shares. The thing is, the people who have the shares locked up aren't stupid. They're not as stupid as these social media people who, again, just try to scare you to get you to watch their content. That's all they want. If you sit back, check the fundamentals, Bear Force One knows about them. I even know about them. This company is not going anywhere.
No.
You know, will there be a little pullback? Maybe, but this is only going up. So I'm going to just lead right into the segment. So the segment, what we're going to talk about today is bullish versus bearish, how we determine what's happening, and blocking out all the bullshit, all the news, all the posts, all the tweets, whatever it is. Everyone wants to influence you so you subscribe. We are different. We speak based on facts. Everything that we present, you can see it's a chart. Bear Force One has all this information. You know, he can show you all his websites, all the everything that he's looking at, right? We're not going to bullshit you. So, right now, let me ask you, are you bullish or bearish right at this moment? What are you? What do you feel?
For SpaceX?
Just the market in general.
Yeah, and I think it
Not
would.
what you want to be.
Yeah, I know what I want. Obviously, I don't.
Yes.
I think we're in a neutral to slightly bullish area. Yeah, that's where I
Okay.
think.
So the way that I look is this chart. Okay. This chart is bullish. Until otherwise, the chart is bullish. It doesn't matter what some fancy, stupid line graph someone shows you or whatever graphic they're going to throw out that shows this compares to 2008 to 2000, whatever. If you try to predetermine a top, you're always going to lose.
Very
Always.
dangerous. Very dangerous.
Yes. Nothing is ever high enough. People love things when they're too high. And I'm going to give you an example. I think I mentioned this in the video. This run up here on Thursday, this open and just went. I don't know who the guy is buying up here. I would love to meet him because I want to shake his hand. I don't get it, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you think or what you hope for. What is happening is this market is continuing to go up, you know, and
Just
avoiding what other people are trying to tell you is going to happen because nobody knows. You know, everyone just hopes they're going to be right because then they'll get more views, right? They'll get more clicks, all that.
relatable. Yeah.
Yeah. So until otherwise, this market's bullish. That's SPY. We're here, yes, at all time highs. QQQs. Now, the thing to me is what would turn me from bullish to bearish? You know, and to me, it's got to be on a larger time frame. You got to start on a week. You know, we got to have a down week.
A
But
rejection here
even
would be ideal for a continuation into what was that potential bearish market entry right there, because it would make that lower high and then go down. Ideally, in a perfect situation, that's what I would want to see for the overall market. That doesn't mean that's what's going to happen though.
but it's also not going to happen on one day.
No,
Like you have a
no,
big red day, right?
yeah,
We need to see confirmation, something more.
right.
You know, I know when this broke out, I'm going to toot my own horn for a second. I
Send it.
called this. I called this pullback here, retest and bounce. You can check the Twitter; it's on there. Everyone else is bearish. Everyone else is screaming die. They don't have the channels. It's very simple. You know, again, if this would have broken, now we're looking at something else, but it never happened. So you can't bet that route. You know, this came huge breakout, retest, and gone. I even had this 730 level. So that's without reading anything out, any noise. So let me ask you, you do research, you do your own research so you know what you believe to be true.
Sure. Or I yeah, I guess you could say it like that, but
How do people avoid reading things and determining what's real and what's not?
oh, God bless. Not
Yeah.
scripted, not scripted moment here, guys. I think if you keep your pulse, so it's like imagine checking someone's pulse. You have your thing on the neck, and you want to feel a sequence of continuing bumps or whatever, so you can tell that the life is still in there. You kind of have your pulse like that on the market, and also you're gonna kind of you gotta kind of be able to see what news is relevant and what's not. The main things. You want me to go down this a little bit, or you want me just to stop there?
Here's something I just thought of. We
Yeah.
talk about this a lot. We're both business owners. We live in the real world and we see things differently than the market clearly, right? Overall, we're a little bearish just on life, right? The way
Yep.
things look, the way our businesses are going, it's kind of little different than the way the market shows it anyways.
Yeah. And that goes with
So
a lot of things in the market, but yeah, you're right.
right. So we see things as bearish, but you can't translate that to the market. I talk about this to you about specifically
All the
because
time. All the
yeah,
time. Yeah. Every
we
every
are
day.
great at shorting the market. When the market's running, we have a harder time because it doesn't align with what we're seeing in our day-to-day lives.
That's right. That's right.
So how do we avoid that?
But like I was trying to say, I mean, like if when you understand the market, like I know you do, and I know I do, and when you're looking at it and you're seeing this, we know that just because our day to days, the price of a gallon is $7 for diesel, and I'm taking home less than I did 5 years ago, even though I'm making more because of inflation and the cost of everything, all this going up, wars, oil shortages, and the market's hitting all-time highs over and over. Like we know that just because it doesn't matter what is actually happening in the world. What matters is what the people behind the scenes, the algos, the people with the money are allowing to happen in the market. The whole market, it's a ruse, man. All of it is fake. There's very little to it that makes a lot of sense. Now they can suppress and manipulate, but at some point things may or may not move in a way that they did not have designed. But you stay in the market long enough, dude. Me and him, we watch the charts, bro. We don't have to be trading. I put on the S&P chart like it's a news channel or cable TV, and I just watch it, bro. I do. I just stare at it, and over what's been 5 or 6 years, you do that, your brain starts picking up on patterns, and you also start to understand how, like, okay, how many times have you taken a trade and you're like, there's no way. This has to be where it reverses. And then it just keeps going. And you're like, there's no way. It's not possible. And it just keeps going over and over. These things keep happening. You get smoked enough, you realize, who was it? Buffett, right? He said, the market can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. And I love that quote because it is so right. You will go broke trying to time the top of everything or the bottom.
100%. 100 I think that's the biggest problem most people have is a lot of people love to trade reversals and they can be very difficult. But however, the one way to trade reversals in a market as strong as what we're in is to always look to trade with the trend, right? So
Yeah.
if chart is bullish, you want that pullback downward and then you want to play it back up. I look at the 5 minute here, you could see the cues. And again, I like to make trend lines.
He's a master
So
at
on
it.
Friday, was this Friday? Yeah, this was Friday. You just make a trend line, right? Find something here. This is getting a lot of hits. So, and then look backwards, see if it works. And if it comes down and hit this trend line again, you can look to play that up, even though it's kind of a tough day,
Yeah.
right? One thing that pisses me off are these runs right here, right? That are straight up.
Oh, man.
Very difficult to trade those.
Yes.
There's just sometimes just better to stay out. However, let's just say was looking for a play this to the downside. What I would do is I have this low and this low. So what's happening is you had this move up here. We formed our high. Then we came down to form this low, right? It's a higher low. So that's bullish. Then we come up here and we form this. This is now a lower high, right? So the market's a little confused. It's still trying to figure its structure out.
The wedging up. Yep.
Price came back down here. That's where we got our second point. So from these 2 points now, we can determine the trend. Okay. And then what I like to do is I'll copy the same line and then just find somewhere that works, right? So I got some touches here, got some touches here. All the way back here, it's touching. Even the previous day, right? It's getting contact. So price came up. This is a false breakout. Broke back to the downside. This is where we got our second data point. When price comes up here and it doesn't touch this line and it starts coming down, you can look to short, right? However, I kind of like this. So if you're scalping, this is what you want. You want, I got to close below my trend line, inside candle down. This little move here will
That's
get you
you.
30%.
That's you all day.
Easy.
That is your stuff all day. Yeah.
Yes. And it makes it simple because I know my stop. My stop is right here, right? Minimal loss on these type of trades. But again, so if you're looking for certain types of trades, you need that confirmation. When you're getting these hits like this, and it's even showing up on previous days, it gives you more confidence those lines are going to work. So there are ways you can play the other way, but if you're not, hey, if you haven't done this for a while, trade the strength, look to trade the upside. That's going to be the way to go.
I mean,
Here's
hell,
one. This
e-
is,
Go ahead. Sorry.
go ahead.
I was the first thing that popped in my head. You go, if you've been doing this a while, then just, or if you haven't been doing it a while, trade it. If you have been doing it a while, go with the trend anyway. My life would be a lot better if I just, I have a problem. I got a problem, and I gotta catch every reversal that exists. Gotten pretty good at it, but I would have more profits, and I think you can relate to this on some level. If I would flip the script and go, buy in long on the retracements instead of trying to short the tops whenever they fail.
The trend is your friend.
The trend is the
Trend
friend.
is your friend.
Mr. Trend Watch, he's got tools in the toolbox.
Let me show you this tool right here. This was SPY. I actually saw this on Friday. This was the opening low right here off the first 5, right? We had this move up, came back down. All I did was connect these, okay? You look back, all these touches on the backside there behind my head. But you can see this is confirmation here, all these hits, right? So I take the same trend line, I copy it, and I throw it at these highs, okay? Right up here, we have these 2 hits. So I'm going to show you how off this data point, we got our trend. That's how I established my trend line, okay? Price came up here, and as it's coming back down, this is where I found the top of the trend. And then, so from 1, 2, 3, I can now trade this the rest of the day, right? Price came back down, tested this line, shot right back up, bang, touched it again, inside candle down, tried to break down. It wasn't ready yet. They wanted to sell a couple more shares a little higher. You can see that consolidation before the breakdown. This closed below the trend line. That's my sign that we got a bearish move going on. And, I don't know how this works. I kind of made a video on it. You're trading against computers. They trade on, I'm sure, mathematical equations. And this just works so well. So you need to determine what the market's doing, bullish, bearish, whatever it is, and decide on your own price action or whatever it may be, and trade that way.
Amen.
I think that makes sense. This is only about 6 years worth of work, so
The only thing I can say about this chart right here, I didn't play the S&P since Friday.
That was, or was this last week? Whatever it was. Traditionally, you would want to see that breakout and then come back to retest that UTL before it goes back down. But that didn't happen. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, a good way to show that just because the chart has done something before, or that there's a perfect way to do it, doesn't mean that's what it's going to do again. So it can be a little dicey if you're not careful and be able to kind of read the room. This is where volume, this is where the shapes of the candles and the flow of the market all come into play. So take it easy, take it slow, accept the money as tuition. That's all I got for that.
All right, cool. I think that's all we got for you this week. We hit on our trades. You updated them on oil. We're
Yes.
waiting on the next Bear Force One project to drop.
It's coming soon,
We
guys.
showed you some charts, what we're looking at, and bullish versus bearish. Right now, the market's bullish.
Good to
So
go.
we're staying that way until otherwise, until your video drops at least.
Hopefully this weekend. It's a lot of work. I ain't gonna lie to you guys, but it's gonna be the best thing I've put out yet, and I'm making sure it's all tight and all the information is correct. I don't want to put out any spoofing or exaggerations for the sake of a video. I'm trying to actually be legitimate financial conspiracy journalism here, if that's a category, but yeah.
Cool. Well, if you like what you heard, like, subscribe, share us, get our stuff out there. We're looking for more people to help. We're just here to tell you the truth, nothing but the truth. Block the noise, block the fluff.
That's
All
right.
right.
That's right.
That's Kill the Market. Thanks for listening.
All right, guys, take it easy.